Greetings everyone, this is Connor from DagoraTV, and this is my review slash recap on my gameplay time with Call of Duty Infinite Warfare and the Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered at EGX 2016. So if you're a subscriber of the YouTube channel for kind of a long period of time or just recently, you'll know that I went to the EGX convention last weekend at Birmingham at the NEC and was able to play a lot of the, the games that were there. We was there for 2 days, the people that I was with, and we was able to play, majority of the AAA games there, and the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare Remastered was, one of them that was able to get our hands on. And we was able to play, was in there for around about 35 minutes. We was able to have a game of Infinite Warfare and then go across and play the Modern Warfare Remaster. I think if they was going to split us up into 2 lines, then I think, we'd have got so many people down in the Modern Warfare Remaster part, and then probably not so many people in the Infinite Warfare part. So I think this was a kind of like a nice way to kind of flatter themselves a little bit. And that's kind of what everyone in the line was kind of talking about, because the people in the line that we was in around and talking to was in the line for around about an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes. Was in there for a while. And the people we were talking to were all there, for the Modern Warfare Remaster. Everyone was saying, we don't really want to be putting up with Infinite Warfare. I just kind of want to move on. But I was able to play both of them. I just want to give a brief. I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I wasn't into it as much as, the majority of people were. A lot of people look back at that game with hugely fond memories. I wasn't really into it that much. I'm not a really Call of Duty player. I've probably played more Black Ops 3, to be honest with you, than I have a Modern Warfare, because I prefer that game. I'm one of those people. I like the movement of Black Ops 3. So the opinions that I've got, if you're the Call of Duty Modern Warfare fan, I'll give you what I understand of my impressions of my friend who was really into Call of Duty Modern Warfare, really into it. So I'll give you the impressions of his, from his front, and then we'll be able to, get a general idea of what someone like that thought of the game. So, of Infinite Warfare, we'll start off with that, because that was really the first one that I was able to play. And we was able to, get a game, and there was a game of Team Deathmatch that was able to play. And it was a really cool experience. I really liked the game. I really liked Infinite Warfare, and I wasn't expecting to, because it's got the same movement of Black Ops 3, and which I think is way better than the Titanfall movement. I will have to say, and better than the Titanfall 2 movement, which I was able to play EGX as well. But I think they've improved it. They've taken it a step further, and I think the biggest place that they've improved it is with the slides. Because when you're running and sliding in Black Ops 3, I feel it's pretty inconsistent. I think at times it goes way further than you expected. At times it goes a lot shorter than you expected. Whereas this, it was consistent pretty much every time I did it. And I did it a lot because I was getting a lot of joy out of it. And I think it was, where I was getting the majority of my kills, avoiding people. It was pretty solid with that front. And I thought it was really kind of a cool way to kind of play the game now, because I think you got more of the joy in Black Ops 3 in the air, especially from people who were killing me anyway, from going over the people, whereas this one, maybe going under them is the better way to go. I mean, who knows, it's something that we'll be able to get a judgment on when the game actually comes out. But to give you a bit of background on what we played, we actually played on the futuristic terminal map, which I think is a pre-order bonus, which is kind of shitty. But was able to play on that, which was kind of cool and nostalgic, because I played a lot of Modern Warfare 2 back in the day. So I thought it was actually a map that I knew well and everyone else knew, so there wasn't really an advantage on that front. But it was a cool map to kind of play through and to kind of see how it's changed, because there's now, instead of a plane being in the middle of it, it was kind of like a futuristic warplane, which was really. It was really weird to see, but you can still go in it in the same way. There's a bit more cover points on the areas of the map. The map actually goes really well with the jumpsuit. It actually does kind of bed the map pretty well. So I already got the points in there where you can kind of go up and into windows and things like that. So it's already a strong suit with that. So as a COD map, it really worked well, and it's one of the good ones to kind of bring back, so that people can play through it again and relive it again. But yeah, of the general gameplay, it's not a huge difference to Black Ops 3, if I'm going to be honest with you. If you like the gameplay in Black Ops 3, it's going to be more of the same. There was a few differences to the specialists, to the classes that you can kind of pick. Those are differences to those. I'm not fully up to date with, with all of them, because I don't really follow the COD news. But I was aware enough, to the one that I was playing with was different than any of the others that I've seen before in the Call of Duty maps. The guns, more futuristic, but it's the same, assault rifles, SMGs, light machine guns, sniper rifles, and right shields, but this is pretty much the same thing. A few of the kill streaks were different. There was actually like a drone. There was actually a drone hand grenade now, which I thought was kind of cool. There was one as well, which is like it kind of created like a mini black hole, which would suck enemies in it. And so it kind of draw enemies in towards you. A few of the perks were kind of cool as well. It was generally, kind of like finer improvements. I think if it wasn't for the Modern Warfare Remaster, I would say, there's not enough different here for it to warrant to be a sequel. But there is 2 games in there, so you're able to get the 2 of them to be able to go through, and I think that should probably satisfy enough people, because a lot of people seem to be excited for the Modern Warfare Remaster, which I will go into now because I think that's what the majority of people are here for. So, the person who I'm friends with, who was really big into the Call of Duty Modern Warfare era of games, era of the video game being out, he was a really, really big fan of our gameplay time with Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And for me, it felt the exact same. It was a game of domination on Clash, and it felt the exact same as what I played before, and it felt the exact same to my friend. He was saying, there's not really a weak point. They've pretty much nailed it. For how to get it, to feel like COD 4, but look a bit nicer. Look more up to date, and it generally does. It did feel kind of cool. Just to have, like a couple of perks, and actually have kill streaks. Not score streaks. It also felt, pretty cool. To play through, it was a game of domination as well, because they could have just slapped on Team Deathmatch, but domination was a pretty popular gameplay type, to pick in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and that's the one we played through. There's a few people, having the problems, which is what I've generally got with Call of Duty, in general, is that people don't really tend to kind of play the game. They just kind of tend to get kills for themselves. So there was like a lot of that in the demo that we played. There was kind of like 3 people playing the game of trying to capture flags and defending the flags and things like that, and other people just running around the map getting kills for themselves. Which that's the community. That's the community of Call of Duty that Call of Duty's got. And that's what people want to do. So, they still got, the Call of Duty community to deal with if you want to play this play the remaster. But it is, pretty much a very similar game, very similar mechanically, same guns, and things like that. And my friend was actually a little bit worried, thinking that, they maybe have changed it too much, or maybe, changed the aesthetic a little bit to make it not feel the same. But with the game that we played, he was really happy about. So I think that people who really like Modern Warfare and really want to kind of play this new remaster, not really too bothered about Infinite Warfare, will be pretty happy about it. You'll have to get Infinite Warfare anyway, unless you want to wait until the sales start dropping and then they start selling them separately, and then you'd have to wait for that. But I think that people, won't really have any problems playing for both and just playing one, which I think is generally what people are going to do, because I've got friends who are really into the Call of Duty community who wasn't in it back when, with Modern Warfare World at War, Modern Warfare 2, they wasn't in it back then, but they're in it now. They're looking at Infinite Warfare. They're not interested in Modern Warfare Remaster pretty much at all, really. They're just not, they don't really care. Whereas now they're looking at Infinite Warfare and looking at all the news for it, looking at YouTubers and things like that. So there's definitely 2 communities, kind of the new COD fans and the older COD fans, that are kind of both going to be getting this game the collection of games to be able to play, one or the other. I don't think there's going to be a huge cross over there. So it's going to be, the player bases for each of them could be split probably like 80-20 to Modern Warfare Remaster, because there's people wanted to relive what they had before. But it's going to be interesting to see the figures what had the last over time with the Modern Warfare Remaster. Is it going to be dropping off quite quickly because people have already done it, and then they've seen why they want to move on, or is it going to be a situation where it is a thing that that people stick to and last and stay with, because the Modern Warfare, they play based on that. They didn't really drop an Xbox 360, even when COD stopped supporting it and hackers started getting in. People were still playing the game a lot. So having it on the new consoles makes a lot of sense. It's going to sell a lot of copies and do really well for Activision. Which is, at the end of the day, why Activision have obviously done this, and I think people, aren't stupid to kind of see that. Because, the hype for Infinite Warfare, wasn't big. I think they've seen that, the change wasn't big enough. Slap it in Modern Warfare Remaster, which is what people have wanted for a really long time. It's going to please the fans, and, please the people, from the old days that really want to play it. And the people that are planning to boycott COD have probably made them rethink, but what you can take away from my gameplay demo is that I prefer the Infinite Warfare. I prefer playing that personally, because I generally prefer the movement in those games. I prefer it a lot more than the old kind of. It felt a little bit clunky. It feels a little bit outdated, but that's just me. I think if you remember it fondly, the old days, you might be a little bit surprised at first grasp, playing it again. But I think. I think you'll be okay with it. It does feel a little bit dated to me. Like compared to the newer first-person shooters that are coming out now, but. If you like it, you go ahead and play it. So thanks all for watching the video. Leave your comments below if you've got any questions about the time that I had with the gameplay at EGX or on either of the games, and I'll make sure to answer them as soon as possible. And thanks all for watching the video. Make sure you subscribe for more content from DagoraTV YouTube channel. Goodbye.